Bull Inc. was registered with the SEC, licensed by the National Association of Securities Dealers. Everybody in there were required to hold licenses to perform brokerage services. And when SAIC grew, the trades between employees reached astronomical proportions. And the end result was that Dr. Robert J. Beister, the founder, ended up owning less than 2% of the stock as the company's single largest shareholder, with 90% of the company's stock in the hands of employees and secretaries and people coming in just at the beginning of their experience, people that in a vertical situation would be placed at the bottom of their enterprise in terms of pay, ended up doing extremely, extremely well. So employee ownership culture isn't a substitute for business metrics. You still have to work hard, you still have to have a good product, you still have to know what you're doing. But if you can do that, it's what allows you to scale to the next level. I want to backtrack a little bit because how much time do I have? Am I gone? Almost at the end? All right. Well, you're lucky because I spoke almost without notes, and I can go for the whole day on this. So let me just run through one slide, and all these slides and my remarks are with OEOC. And let me get this in before I forget. I'm working with Jim Anderson on a project in Pittsburgh, and I am honored to work with this person. He is a real employee ownership CEO. I'm not, and you are so lucky to have the OEOC talent in Ohio. This is a gift from above, let me tell you. So I just want to talk about this. It's in Spanish, and my Spanish is really bad, but they've forgiven me. So I'm going to translate this. This is a Mondragon internal slide, and I just want to talk about this because this puts to bed some of the myths that are out there. The first one is export sales, and it's divided into two kinds of cooperatives, what they call multi-located cooperatives, those who go global and just stay local in the Basque region around the town of Mondragon. The next slide on the top is total sales. On the left on the bottom, it's value added, and on the right on the bottom, it's employment created locally. And what this slide shows is that through employee ownership, through Mondragon principles, through the 10 laws of worker solidarity that Mondragon, all 255 cooperatives in Mondragon work on, you achieve amazing results that totally break the global wage arbitraging model. You increase your exports, you increase your total sales, you increase your value added, and you increase your employment at home. You increase your employment at home. So folks, it is not either or. It is not either or. It is both and more for the home team if you have the right model. And anybody who doesn't tell you that that's correct, not only should speak to me, but they should take a trip. So I'm going to just conclude rapido with, with some 4 or 5 thoughts. I think that the Mondragon model demolishes the global wage arbitraging zero-sum reality that Ohio has experienced. And I think that the Ohio employee ownership movement, all the 320 people in this room, you are the vanguard for demolishing that model. And your slogan should be, never again allow your state to lose its sovereignty to a predatory marketplace. Buying time is what we all need. Buying time is an unalienable right, but you have to be structured to do that. Now, it doesn't mean that you get to squander that time once you buy it. And we all know too many stories of U.S. industries that got the time and decided to rest on their laurels. That's not what this is about. Buying time means you get the opportunity to fight for another day and grow a bigger vision. Economic patriotism. As Jim Jim had mentioned I was a naval officer, ended up spending 20 years. Firmly believe in patriotism, and we all do. We have something called economic patriotism. Economic patriotism, to me, is not sending jobs overseas. Economic patriotism, to me, is having profits recirculate at home. Economic patriotism, to me, is the stakeholder economy, not the shareholder economy. I think we've moved in this country from don't tread on me to don't tread on us. And now we got to figure out what don't tread on us means. We are no longer living in a Ptolemaic universe, you know, the one where we're in the center and it all revolves around us. Copernicus proved that we're just a sunspot in a huge universe. We've got to understand this, and we've got to reach for the two great things that the Mondragon model offers. The Mondragon model offers, first of all, in terms of employment, under a common philosophical umbrella, when one cooperative isn't doing well, you can help out in terms of taking people from one to another, retrain, and keep them employed. When there are excess profits in one side, you can help an industry that needs some financial assistance. It doesn't mean you give money down a rat hole. Tough business decisions are made, but the capital is there and the promise is there. It has to be voted on. It's done by consensus, but the mechanism is there. So now you are all growing your employee-owned industries. Imagine if you had a Mondragon type template and you were able to help each other out in terms of not only doing more business with each other, but also keeping the human equation viable and foremost, understanding that employment creates profits, not the reverse, and the money part. That money part which is so hard for startups and even mezzanine financing and small business lending. And the last thing is building virtuous cycle models. Virtuous cycle. President Obama talked about that in his 2009 White House Job Summit in December. It's like the self-fulfilling prophecy, the virtuous circle, the spiral up, the race to the top, as opposed to the spiral down, the race to the bottom. The union co-op model that we've put together between Mondragon and the steelworkers is an idea of taking progressive unions and co-ops and putting them together. For too long, they've been ships passing in the night. We now think they should work together. We want to help solve structural unemployment. We want to resolve ethical challenges in the workforce. We want to create next generation partnerships. And we want to build a workplace that is creative, productive, and just. virtuouscycle.coop. Thank you very much.